This podcast is brought to you by Impact.com. Impact.com is the world's leading partnership management platform. Are you looking for new ways to acquire new customers? Impact.com can help you drive revenue through partnerships with publishers, creators, or other brands. Visit Impact.com today.
I really do believe that the affiliate and partnerships industry is the most innovative marketing channel that you have at your disposal.
You're listening to the Affiliate Marketing Podcast brought to you by AffyverseMedia.com, the chapter and verse of everything you need to know about running a successful affiliate program for your business. Now, here's your award-winning affiliate and performance marketing host, an industry veteran, your affiliate marketing guide, and the founder of Affyverse, Leanne Johnston.
What if the key to explosive growth in your affiliate program isn't where everyone else is looking? There's gold in the hills for affiliate marketers who are fed up of fighting for scraps from the big affiliate players. In today's episode, we're about to flip the script on everything you thought you knew about scaling your affiliate program. I'm joined by Martha Billin, Regional Vice President of Publisher Development at Impact.com, and she's about to reveal why bigger isn't always better in the affiliate game. Ever wondered why the big fish in the affiliate pond seem to ignore your brand? Martha's got the scoop on why that might actually be your biggest opportunity. We'll explore why mid-tier publishers could be your secret weapon, potentially offering you 8 times more attention than the top dogs. But that's just the beginning. From AI-powered innovations to full funnel strategies, we're diving deep into the future of affiliate marketing. Martha's insights might be just the game changer that your program needs. So whether you're just starting out with affiliate programs or an established brand looking for an edge, stick around. You're about to discover how David can outmaneuver Goliath in the affiliate world. Welcome to this week's Affiliate Marketing Podcast, brought to you by our gracious sponsors, Impact.com. And today I'm super excited because I've got Martha Billin, the Regional Vice President of Publisher Development at Impact.com, joining me on this week's episode. And before we get started asking Martha a little bit about herself, the reason why I'm excited about having Martha is because she has once been a speaker at one of our previous events, and she just blew me away with the knowledge that she had with publisher development and publisher discovery. So welcome back, Martha, on my mic. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
So let's get started about giving you a little bit of an introduction. How did you get into affiliate marketing? It's a question that I start pretty much every episode through because everybody's had an interesting story about how they graduated into the performance space. So tell us a little bit about you and how you landed up being Regional Vice President of Publisher Development at Impact.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been in the industry for about 10 years now. My first role in affiliate marketing was an entry-level role at Awin, where I started as an account executive. I then worked at Awin for 7 years, a very long time, lots of different roles within their client-facing department. Before I moved brand side, I worked as the head of affiliates and partnerships for Look Fantastic for about 2 years, which was more of a global role. And then 2.5 years ago, I joined Impact.com to set up the publisher development function for EMEA.
Okay, so quite a long history there in affiliate. I mean, a decade plus, really. And working both brand side and network side. So always within that publisher mix. Now, what is a publisher development vice president? Like, we have a lot of great titles in our industry, as we were talking about before we hopped on here. Like, what exactly is your role? Because a lot of people are asking me when I interview people to understand what the career development and trajectory is within the space when they came in. And you mentioned you started as an affiliate account executive way back when. So what exactly does the Vice President of Publisher Development do?
Very good question. The function that I now have was initially to set up the publisher development function for the region. So before I joined Impact.com for Europe, there wasn't necessarily much of a publisher-facing presence there. As a SaaS platform, it just runs on a slightly different model. And initially, my job was very much to set up a team. We now have a team spread across all of the markets that we're active in. So we have publisher development managers in the UK, in Germany, France, and Italy. And the second part of setting up that publisher development function was really to develop a strategy of how we wanted to engage with our publishers, who we wanted to bring on, and also how we could help the publishers that we work with on impact.com to form productive partnerships with our brands.
So it's like facilitating relationships, basically. You're basically like the head of relationship building, but you're publisher facing, because we also have relationship builders on the account management side, which is where you originally started out. So I guess my question to you is, what made you decide to move over to the dark side, to the side that deals with all of the traffic creators and sellers? Like what was attractive to you, having come from the account management side, the client facing side? Why did you do the swap?
Basically, you mean moving over to the fun side.
Depends on which way you look at it.
I think for me, it was really getting like the full rounded experience. So as you said, I very much, most of my career, worked client facing and gained a lot of experience there. And I think for me, always my favorite part of working brand facing was really making the connection between the brands and the publishers, and understanding which publishers could be a good fit for the brands that I was working with. The same when I worked on the brand side, really being able to understand how publishers could help the brand that I was looking after in executing their strategy and bringing sales and revenue. That really was something that I really enjoyed, but I hadn't necessarily had a role within all that time that was purely focused on the publishers. And that's what I am doing at impact.com. And it's been really, really enjoyable getting that, that final side of the equation almost.
Yeah. And I think a lot of affiliate managers and a lot of businesses, they structure their teams very differently. So some people, they only focused on affiliate recruitment and publisher development. And some people are actually focused on like growth and innovation and the marketing functions of the program. So I think if anybody's listening to this, it's very important that you understand early on where you want your career to go and kind of maneuver yourself into the positions that are going to give you that insight to see whether you are more client facing and maybe you want to work at an agency or a network, or even in-house, or whether you actually want to be where the traffic sources are and actually going out to events and building relationships and having these more of a partnership-led approach to the marketing that you're doing. So thank you for sharing that career story, because I think it's important that people understand what the opportunities are available in this industry, and they can decide early on where they want to specialize. And also, if they don't want to specialize, they can maneuver to go both sides. So a lot of the skills are transferable between the agency side and the advertiser side to the publisher side, because it's all centered around relationship building. Now, I want to talk about some trends, because you're obviously seeing a lot through the entire platform and across multiple regions. What are you seeing right now that successful affiliate programs are doing in terms of program segmentation? Because you and I have spoken a heck of a lot about the importance of segmenting an affiliate program, the importance of making sure that you're working with multivariate different publishers in order to gain the kind of scale and the reach that you want your performance program to do. But why is it so important for brands to consider their segmentation right now? And what are the biggest trends that you're seeing in the way that programs are developing their mix?
Yeah, I think one of the things we are seeing more and more of is brands really looking for partners outside of what you would consider your traditional affiliate models. So a lot of brands come to us asking specifically around audience fit and looking for partners that either fit their established audiences, and knowing who they want to target, knowing who their products or services work very well with. Or on the other hand, they're looking to maybe explore completely new audiences, right? So trialing something with like a niche of an audience that maybe they have never targeted before, and really finding partners that can speak to all aspects of these different audiences has been a trend that we have seen very much like from the brands that we work with. And then on the publisher side for us, we definitely see, our publishers, our partners constantly evolving. They're often some of the first ones to touch any part of, new developments. Like new innovation within the industry. They're the ones that really bring that to the forefront. They develop that into their own technologies, their own approaches, and then bring that to our brands. What we see for brands that are really successful is really more of a blending of approaches. So you blend your tried and tested affiliate models with the partners that you have established relationships with some of those partners that, are bringing that innovation. And you as a brand, if you're open to working with new partners that don't neatly fall into those established models, you just add to your affiliate program. So you're not taking anything away from the partners that you're already working with, but you're adding like a separate layer, and you're reaching new audiences, which is something that a lot of our brands are specifically asking us for.
I mean, there's two very important things that you mentioned there. The first thing is starting with the audience segment. So a lot of affiliate managers running affiliate programs, they're all about going out and finding net new publishers, and they just want to be everywhere. Like, I just want my brand to be everywhere in the top search rankings. I want to be on, the top PPC type affiliate accounts. I want to be on the top voucher code sites. And what they're actually forgetting about is who are they targeting? And you started the sentence with, a lot of brands are looking at the customers that they want to be reaching and then working backwards from there to find the right publishers that match that. And I think that's a very, very important point, because it boils down to inexperience and experience. Inexperience will be, I need to go find everybody. And experience, and this is 20 years of experience talking now, teaches you that you actually only need to find the 5 that are going to bring you the end result. And when you change and flip that mindset, you can actually become more productive in terms of getting your end goals done, your outcomes done. And I think that's a very important point that you mentioned that I just wanted to kind of pull out there. What are some of the common challenges scaling affiliate programs face? Whilst I'm not saying you mustn't go out and find net new, you absolutely have to go out and find net new, but you also need to be tweaking the bits that you do have in terms of, seasonality, maybe when you leverage some partners up and you leverage some partners down, depending on where that customer is in the buyer journey. But what are some of the common challenges that programs face with scaling programs? Because what are your top tips to help them overcome some of these challenges with scale? Is it finding that one big affiliate that can kind of, ramp up the numbers 20%? Or is it about finding 10 smaller affiliates that reach your customers in the main verticals that you're looking to operate? What do you think works best?
Yeah, I think one of the things that you just mentioned can be a little bit of an obstacle sometimes when you're looking to scale your partnership program. You want to shift your thinking, right? You don't want to necessarily just think, I need to be present on these top 5 sites. But what you really want to think about is, where is the audience that I need to reach? And also, is there partners that maybe I don't know their names yet. I can't list them off the top of my head. And those could be the partners that tap into exactly the audience and exactly the customer that you are looking for. So really thinking outside of those traditional partner models, that can really help. Sometimes what you will also find, especially for some of the bigger brands, is maybe a bit of a lack of an understanding from the other marketing channels that you work with, especially when you're looking at some of these non-traditional models. So really taking those stakeholders on board with you as early as you can to help sell in those models that maybe are a little bit less well known, and being able to explain what the benefits are of those partners, because other channels might not know all the nuances.
Just give us an example of some of those partners.
Yeah, I guess in particular for us, it's some of the more AI-based partners. So there's a couple of fashion partners that utilize AI that we work with. There's also a number of technology partners that we work with that have more on-site solutions. And those probably, in particular, those are the partners that other channels might not always understand. I think another good example is CSS partners that do Google Shopping, for example. And often there is not conflict, but a bit of a misunderstanding from your PPC channels on how that might cannibalize sales when it really doesn't. So I guess explaining, being in a position to really outline how those partners benefit your mix without taking away from other marketing channels is a huge benefit.
And also understanding when and how to work with those partners is important, because it's not about accepting everybody all at once. It's also about looking at where you are in the life cycle of your program, looking at what your other digital marketing channels are doing at the same time, and then finding the gaps and plugging them with these other like non-traditional type affiliate partners. So I think it's important to mention, yes, you need to be segmenting your program. Yes, you need to be working with multivariate partners, because they are finding customers in different parts of the user journey and the purchase journey. But it's also like when and how that you need to be contemplating when you actually invite these publishers in, and when you kind of look at when they make the most sense for you. What do you think as a brand a good fit for an affiliate is? Like, what should you look at to say, is this the right affiliate for me right now? Like, what are some of the checkpoints that you would advise a brand does before they just, willy-nilly onboard somebody?
Yeah, I think there's two really important points to that question. I think one is almost flipping it on its head and thinking about it from the partner side.
Okay.
We often look at things from a brand perspective, right? We all do. We look at like, who is a good fit for this specific brand? What publisher am I looking for? But on the flip side of that, we often find that the most successful partnerships are actually partnerships where the brand has thought about, who am I a good fit for? Like, who is a publisher, that I like fit in well with in terms of audience, but also in terms of how they position themselves, in terms of what they do. Because you can almost cast your net too wide, because you think these are all great publishers and I want to work with all of them. And that's probably true. They're probably all great publishers, but are they great publishers for you, or are you a great brand for them to work with? And we often find that publishers can be quite selective as well with who they want to work with. So I think maybe as a brand, flipping that on its head and thinking about it from the publisher perspective really, really helps. And then secondly, the other part I would add to that is actually basically what you just said, but think about exactly what kind of business challenge or what kind of, problem you're looking to solve by bringing on that specific partner. There's a lot of really fantastic technology partners that you can bring on if you want to, for example, look at increasing your average order value, or you find a lot of people leaving your site without making a purchase. There's technology partners that can help you, with converting customers that show exit intent, for example. So if you are very clear about the challenges that you are looking to solve, and this is probably on top of your established, well-running, mix of, anywhere between 10 to 100 partners. If you're very clear on the business challenges that you're looking to solve, you can find the partners that can do exactly that for you.
Yeah. I mean, it always makes me wonder, because when you think of really huge programs like Fanatics, and, they've been established for many, many years, they've got probably thousands of affiliates in their program, yet they're growing year on year and they're still recruiting more publishers in. So it's like affiliate programs are never really once and done. It's, the mix of partners that you're going to be having at different times of the year might even change in terms of who you plowing that top performing budget, spend with. What are some of the success metrics that you're having with outreach to partners? Because I know everybody's going to be wanting to ask you, okay, how do you find affiliates and how do you bring them on board, and what's the secret sauce? So what are some of the things that you do to actually bring partners into the marketplace and establish those relationships?
So my team actually have a fairly ambitious recruitment goals. We review them on a 6-monthly basis, and we have a number that we are looking to hit every year in terms of bringing on new partners, which is a really important KPI for the publisher development team. It's consistently growing that marketplace. We don't necessarily just stop at bringing these partners on board. We also have fairly ambitious, what we would call activation goals. We are also targeted on supporting the new partners that we bring on becoming revenue active for our brands, which means that we always work with the partners that we recruit to connect them with the right brands and get them to become revenue active as soon as they can. And I guess in terms of how we find these new partners, for us, it's very much working together with internal and external teams to understand where we should focus. I guess we were in a slightly more straightforward position when we first started recruiting publishers, because we had some quite obvious gaps to fill, especially in some of our newer markets. So it was fairly easy for us to know who to target and how to approach those conversations. Whereas now we're probably a little bit more selective in who we want to bring on to our marketplace. We're in constant conversation with teams on what verticals they want us to focus on, what specific markets, but even what specific kind of partner niches they want us to recruit for. So we work closely with our sales teams, with the teams internally that work directly with our brands, but we also will ask the brands themselves on whether they have a specific focus, and then we will tie that into our overall recruitment effort.
So I think that's a really good point, actually, because a lot of affiliate managers, they just want net new. Like, they don't actually have a strategy of, okay, this month I'm going to go after affiliates that are at this point in the customer buying journey. Next month, I'm going to focus on this niche segment of customers that we're looking for. And I think it's really important that people do that, because without looking at segmenting your recruitment process, you're kind of going to feel like you're just spinning your wheels and getting not much done, because there's just so much out there to choose from, right? There's a lot of publishers, a lot of people starting affiliate businesses. There's a lot of ways to find them through like social media channels, through communities, through groups. My biggest recruitment tactic is always get yourself out to every single event, whether it's virtual, online, or anything else. Like, wherever affiliates are going to learn, that's where you need to be too. Like, if you're really recruitment focused. But what are some of the outreach tactics that you use? Because a lot of people go, I send a million emails and I never get a response, or I don't know how to engage this person. Like, what's some of the tactics that your team uses that really builds rapport and engagement quickly, so that partner comes on board and actually becomes active?
Absolutely. So for us, I think one of the really important things that we do is that we are really targeted in who we are going after. And it really helps for us as well that my team is structured in a way whereby each publisher development manager is either responsible for a market or for a market and specific segments of publishers. So what really helps is, let's say, someone that is responsible for CSS publishers is also responsible for bringing on new CSS publishers, and having that subject matter expertise and really knowing how to speak to those partners, how to sell in, how they can work through our platform, and really demonstrating, that knowledge and being able to immediately connect them with brands. That really, really helps us. So having that vertical focus is a key part in that. And then secondly, something that we have found that really helps with that activation piece is having proactive conversations with our brands and knowing that they are looking for a specific partner type, or they're looking for partners in a specific market, and then going to these partners saying that sign up to impact.com, B&Q are waiting to work with you, for example. So for the partner, there's that added incentive to know that they will have someone to work with from the very beginning. And it also makes them feel like we have reached out for a specific reason, rather than just to bring them onto our marketplace.
Well, that's good, because I think that can be relayed to anybody, whether they're working in Impact or not, or in any other network, or with a SaaS tool internally. I think it's getting focused. It's getting really focused about who that publisher is and understanding who that publisher is first before you reach out to them. Because in that first email communication or outreach communication, which you've just said your team is doing, you're already telling the affiliate why they should be working with you. Not that they should, but why they should. And there's a difference. Because anybody can send an email out to somebody and say, hey, come and work with us. We're going to give you, 50% revenue share or a high CPA. But tell me, why should I work with you? And that's why it's important to understand who these partners are before you ever reach out to them, because you need to be able to convince them why it's a good idea for them to give you 5 minutes of their time. It's really as simple as that. If you can create that 5-minute elevator pitch that makes the partner understand exactly what the benefit is for them to work with you, you don't need to send multiple emails. You just need to send one. I'm all about making my life simple at the moment. So I think keeping it simple, stupid, KISS is still the very best marketing advice that you can get. Now, I wanted to kind of drill down a little bit more in the outreach because it is probably one of the only questions that I get asked more often than not. What are some of the outreach tools that Impact specifically has created for programs to really scale? Because it is quite a powerful tool. Like Impact is, it's kind of like what I call the Rolls Royce of SaaS products, but you need to be able to know how to use it. So what is the one key feature that you want to tell people about today from your perspective on the publisher side that your team simply cannot live without and that everybody using the tool can actually also use as well effectively to grow their program?
So for us, it's a tool that actually my team themselves uses quite heavily, which is our extended search functionality, which is basically a way to look for partners outside of the impact.com platform. As you say, we do have an extensive marketplace, and it will take a while for you to exhaust that marketplace of publishers that we already have on our platform. But we talk quite a lot about more niche audiences, about having that specific audience fit, about fulfilling your exact requirements. And our extended search functionality really helps to find those partners that are that exact fit for you. So it allows you to search for specific keywords, and it identifies partners that we don't yet have on our marketplace. And as a brand, you're then able to add them to your recruitment workflow on our platform and bring them on to the marketplace, which just gives you, even outside of our marketplace, gives you a huge reach into potential partners that you can work with.
So check it out, guys. Check out the extended reach search tool because that's going to help you to actually find more partners if you're working on impact.com. What are some of the success stories that you can share from the programs that you've worked with where you've seen segmentation really help them to scale? Because I really want to hit home why publisher segmentation is so important, especially right now in the marketplace that we're working in.
A lot of the success that we have seen has come from what we call our entry segment. So some of our smaller and medium brands. And what we've seen there is actually the success comes from matching those smaller size brands with publishers that you would probably locate somewhere in the mid-tail range. So rather than thinking of who are the top 20 publishers that I can list off, looking at where do you have a good fit also in the size of the brand and the publisher. So there's often a big growth potential because these slightly smaller publishers are more open, they have more appetite for new partnerships. If you're trying to work with one of the top 10 publishers, as a smaller brand, it is probably going to be a little bit trickier for you. You're probably going to end up on, a waiting list for integration. There's probably not going to be a publisher that's falling over themselves to work with you if you're a small or medium-sized brand. Whereas with some of those more mid-tier publishers, they are really the ones that are looking for new partnerships. So we've really seen a lot of potential to scale specifically in that segment. And also what we found is that a lot of these smaller brands have maybe fewer restrictions in place. Their marketing teams might be smaller, they work more closely together, so there's maybe less silos, there's more opportunity to collaborate, meaning those brands are maybe more open to some of these out-of-the-box partnerships that we discussed that don't always neatly fall into the traditional affiliate mold as well.
So I like that because it's actually numbers. If you're an affiliate manager and you love the numbers, that's exactly what you're saying, is that a smaller affiliate might give you 40% of their portfolio because they want to build a strong relationship and they don't maybe have capacity to have 1,000 advertisers that they're working with. Whereas a bigger affiliate will probably only give you 5% of their portfolio or traffic sources because you're a smaller brand and you're not really investing a lot of money with them. So flip it on its head again and look outside of the top performing publishers that have the highest traffic sources and look more closely at that segmentation to find partners that are reaching customers at the right place and time and price point and double down with all of those because you can manage 100, 200 affiliates with a really sophisticated, tracking solution, and you can automate a lot of these processes. So maybe just flip the switch a little bit in terms of going, I need to be on the top performing websites in the UK and actually go down and have a look at who are all the new publishers that are coming in that I can build really meaningful relationships with. What about scoping partners? Because you mentioned that you actively scope partners before working with them and entering brands to match them? Like, what kinds of tools do you use to scope a partner? What things do you look at?
Actually, a lot of that is having conversations and understanding what the publishers' strategies are. So my team manage quite a big portfolio of publishers, and we just are in constant communication with them. And for us, it's really important to understand like what they are looking for, right? Are they expanding into a new market? Are they focusing on a specific vertical? And that kind of information really helps us to then match them with brands that are either active in that market or brands that are also looking to expand into those specific markets, and really pairing them up with brands that are the right fit for them. And on the flip side, for the brand, that obviously means that we're pairing them with publishers that we have scoped to begin with. We also have a lot of conversations with our publishers, especially around, are they open to working with some of our smaller and medium-sized businesses? So we have like lists of publishers that are looking for new partnerships, which I think is something that maybe as the industry has reached more maturity, not every publisher will always be looking for new brands to work with. Some of them have very specific requirements. So putting in that work in the beginning to understand what publishers are looking for, what kind of brand specifically, really helps us with that kind of matchmaking exercise.
I like that. The takeaway that I take from that for everybody listening to this podcast is that you need to go out and qualify your database. Like, you need to be asking your affiliates at least once a quarter, hey, where's your growth potential? What can I do to help you with the expansion that you're looking to do with your business? Are you looking to get into a new market? Or can I help you with a product that can help you enter that market and be successful in that market? Like, it's really important that instead of just doing the day-to-day administration with affiliates, that you're actually asking them about how their business is and where it is that they want to be focusing to grow. And I think we forget about that because we're so busy doing the doing, like running the admin, running the campaigns, doing all of the kind of like administrative functions, the reporting and everything else that we need to do in the program, that we forget to just have conversations with people and say, where's your focus for the next quarter? How can I plug into that focus? What is it that we can do together to actually help each other grow? So I want you to take some time out and think about that, guys, if you're listening this week, and actually ask yourself, when last did you do a survey to your affiliates? And actually ask them what you can help them with, because you might even be able to reactivate some of your dormant affiliates by offering to help at a point where they might need it. So very quick and easy to run a survey or do a little quiz or whatever it is, but actually get into the weeds of your database and start having conversations with these publishers.
And something that I've always found works really well, it's not realistic to do that with all of the publishers that you work with, but the ones that you definitely want to establish closer relationships with as a brand is bring them close to your strategy, right? So talk to them about exactly what you're looking to achieve and see how that publisher can help you with that specifically. And it really gives publishers a sense of, being like an extension of your team, being able to tackle challenges together. And it can really lead to some really great success stories if you work on that strategic level and you integrate publishers really closely into what you're looking to achieve.
I love that. Okay, so what do you think the future of affiliate partnerships looks like? Because you're right there running it. So tell us, what should brands be doing today to get ahead of their competition and create more efficiency in their relationship building strategies?
I really believe that the industry will continue to innovate and will continue to evolve, and we will continue to see these new partnerships and these new models develop. And something that we're already seeing, and I think is something that we all want to, bear in mind for the future of the industry as well, is that there just is more of a shift towards like full funnel partnerships. So we're already seeing brands either rewarding or at least considering that publishers interact with customers at different stages of the journey outside of necessarily like driving the last click. And there is a shift towards, recognizing that either through rewarding them for, let's say, the first click they've driven, or looking at more hybrid models, but taking like a fuller funnel approach and being able to actually quantify and establish what each publisher brings at every stage of that customer journey, and also being open to looking at what publishers can bring at the very top of the funnel, for example, which isn't necessarily where you would look, right? You wouldn't look at the affiliate channel to always drive that initial piece of awareness. But I think that fuller funnel approach with these new partnership types that are emerging is something that we will continue to see grow in the industry.
Well, the thing is, I agree with you. And the only reason why we can do that now is because we have the data. So, decades gone by when I first started, it was one last click and everybody gets the same deal. Like, that's how we started. Now you've got multiple different funnel flows. You've got the way that consumers are shopping, which is different. The channels that they're shopping across is so complex. And so I think we are getting to a point where we need to be incentivizing our partners on a performance basis still, but for the outcomes that we want them to deliver. And they're not always going to be that, first sale. It might be repeat sales. It might be, dormant reactivation. It might be all of these things because the channel is becoming so ubiquitous. It's like across everything. It's across social. It's across search. It's, direct traffic. It's pretty much everywhere. So I think that's a great piece of advice. And I'd love to see and hear if any brands are doing any kind of, changes in terms of the way that they incentivize and commission their partners. So if you're listening to this podcast, DM either myself or Martha, because we'd be quite interested in seeing what you're testing and what's happening with that. Now, if I had to ask you for just one tidbit of advice to leave our audience with today, what would that be?
I really do believe that the affiliate and partnerships industry is the most innovative marketing channel that you have at your disposal. It's probably also the reason why I stayed in the industry once I took my first role within it. And for me, it's really shifting the conversation on how we talk about affiliate and partnerships. And I know that I mentioned previously that these new models and these new approaches and these new partners shouldn't take anything away from, a very well-established partner landscape that we all know works very well. But I think sometimes it's easy to not incorporate everything that's happening in terms of new technologies, in terms of new, more innovative models when we talk about affiliate marketing as such. And I think we all within the industry can probably do a little bit more to talk about it in a different way and to try and help to shift that perception away from what affiliate marketing used to be with all of the innovation, all of the exciting things that are happening within the industry.
I love that. I think broaden your horizons is how I would summarize that one. Really start thinking outside of the box and treat everybody as an affiliate because everybody is, whether it's your customer, your supplier, your partner, even your competitor. It could be a potential affiliate if you do brand-to-brand swaps and it makes sense for you to do that. But we're all focusing and doubling down on where do we find first-party data because 2025 is, going to bring us a lot of challenges. And I think, having an open, broad mindset, like you've just said, is probably one of the best pieces of advice that you can give anybody because it will open them up to new ways of working and it'll make sure that they're looking ahead at what the future trends are. So, Martha, it's been a pleasure to have you on this podcast to hear how your team is developing publisher relationships and for sharing some of the insights that you're seeing and some of the successes that you're having with matching and segmenting partner programs for success. It's been a pleasure to have you on this podcast with me this week.
Thank you so much. It's been great.
The Elevate Summit is coming to London on the 16th and 17th of September, and it's shaping up to be the affiliate and lead gen conference of the year. But don't take my word for it. Here's why Varna Hahn from TikTok for Business thinks you should be there too.
I think there's two main reasons. One is as we're moving into 2025, or also just the challenging landscape of cookie deprecation. How do we navigate the whole content creator economy? I think we really wanted to be there and empower SMB to help them succeed and just to help them navigate through this complexity user journey together. So that's definitely our primary focus for attending. And I think it's a great event to meet a lot of the SMBs and also agencies, particularly in the EMEA region, as our TikTok for Business affiliate program started to expand to EMEA. And also EMEA right now is our focus region. So I think it's just absolutely a fantastic opportunity to be able to do a lot of things in the concentrated 2 days.
Folks, this is your chance to rub shoulders with industry leaders, gain cutting-edge insights, and maybe even find your next big business opportunity. Haven't snagged your ticket yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Head on over to affiversemedia.com/elevate-2024 and secure your ticket now. Time is running out, and trust me, you really don't want to miss this. We're looking forward to seeing you join us at Elevate.